Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this show, man. I appreciate all the support. Welcome, Cowboys Nation. Also, a little welcome to the haters too. You gotta have some haters as well. But hey, had a great week last week in the cave. So again, big shout out to Mark Holmes for coming into the cave. We had a lot of fun talking some Cowboys. You spend this off season trying to figure things out, get that positive, get that hype, and get everything rolling into the season. That way we're feeling good. And also make sure you guys hit that subscribe. Make sure you hit the like, share, all that kind of good stuff, man. We picked up a ton of new subscribers this last week. We got some more great interviews and guests coming up this week. We got my man Jay Tuck and Malik Rozier from the U coming in. We're going to be talking more college prospects going into the NFL draft, and also maybe college in general. How's the upcoming college season looking with all the transfer portal, all the NIL stuff going on? Hopefully, we got a new quarterback, so hopefully we're going to be able to take that next step as well. I'll be happy about what college football is doing because it's been too long for my Canes as well as my Cowboys. And then Thursday, we got an awesome show. We got former Cowboys guard Crawford Kerr. He played in that Tom Landry era into the Jimmy Johnson era, and really has a good perspective of that changeover that Jimmy Johnson did, really rebuilding that team on the fly with a lot of youth. And unfortunately for Crawford, he was one of the older veterans that wasn't part of that full process of getting into the Super Bowl. So he just missed out by a year or two, but he was there for the first couple of years with Jimmy Johnson, and he is one of the very few offensive linemen that blocked for Tony Dorsett, Herschel Walker, and Emmitt Smith. So definitely has some great stories to share. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys tune in on that on Thursday. And then obviously today's a Sunday. We got some good women's college basketball. So we'll see what happens with South Carolina and Iowa. That should be a lot of fun, man. Looking forward to it. So again, appreciate all the support. And also on Cameo, we got, I spend my time on Cameo hyping up these Cowboy fans. I get all these requests. Give me hope. Give me hope. Give me hope going into the season, man. You got to hype me up and birthday wishes and all that kind of stuff. So I've been keeping busy doing that. And it's hard. We've talked about the off season. We've talked about what's been going on. It's frustrating for Cowboy fans. It's like, what is going on? The situation with Dak Prescott going into last year. And I know people, if you say one positive thing about Dak Prescott, you become like this Dak lover. I mean, there is an opportunity to be positive about where he's at. I mean, he's still one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. You can slice it and you can critique it any way you want, but those are the facts. And you can also be critical. You can be critical of the playoffs. You can be critical of certain games where they're just getting off to slow starts and he's just not kind of in his zone and in his feel. And you can also be critical to say, hey, last year they had no, very minimal run support when they needed it. And, there's very few quarterbacks that can just carry a team. Patrick Mahomes probably being the only one that I know of. I mean, everyone else, you got to have weapons around. You got to have really a running game. And I think, the disappointing for me going to the off season is they didn't really address that with a veteran. Now that I know, the plan is to get a running back in the draft, but I'd feel comfortable if they've got a veteran and then obviously draft one as well. It is a 2-back league. Some could say it's a 3-back league. And I know they brought Rico back, but I'm just not 100% sold on this running game. And I think that's where there's going to be some problems with this Cowboys team like it was last year if they don't get a running game going and really solidify that. So that's what we really want to see. Hopefully they get it going, get this running game moving in the draft. The draft's going to be key. So that's what we're going to be talking a lot about on Tuesday, taking our Monday show off because obviously the basketball game Monday night, want to focus on that as well. So that should be a lot of fun. UConn's been dominating every team. So Purdue's going to have their hands full. So we'll see what happens. But so we've got that. So we're going to get into some of this college draft because that's really what happened with these Cowboys and what they've done. Is their philosophy is constantly building through the draft. And I get it. But the problem is when you don't add those free agents, when you don't have key free agents, you don't have to go on a spending spree. You're putting a lot of pressure on these draft picks to perform and perform at a high level quickly. And that's what's going to be asked of the running back, whoever they draft. whether it be the kid from Florida State, kid from Texas, Irving from Oregon, the Wisconsin, running backs getting a lot of love too. So they're going to find somebody. They just better make sure they get someone, and he's got to be the right guy to fit into this system. Running back's a young man's game, so I don't have an issue with them putting all their chips in on drafting a running back. I just would like to see a veteran just kind of sitting in the wings just in case, you know what I mean, to give that support and also be that constant if he has some early struggles. You can look back at some of the other running backs in the past, and sometimes it's a little bit of a learning curve for them. Sometimes it takes a couple years for them to really get going. Some just hit the ground running and it's lights out from the start. So hopefully that'll be the case for us. The other thing I was just touching on, with some of the criticism is Micah Parsons. So it seems to be the narrative. And I, talked to my son about it. And I just think a lot of it is people are going to create rumors. They're going to create headlines because that's where the eyeballs go, especially with the Cowboys. So, you're hearing this, the front office is, not happy with Micah Parsons and this and that, It's like, come on, man. I mean, Micah Parsons is one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. I mean, you can't deny it. And it's really goes hand in hand with Dak. You can, be very positive on Micah Parsons, but you can be critical. You can say, hey, in the playoffs, he hasn't really had this huge playoff moment, these huge playoff games. But the one thing he does is he creates a lot of attention, and that should be helping others eat. You know what I'm saying? And for whatever reason, I know Dak gets a majority of the blame by most in the playoff game. I probably give most of maybe 60-40 goes to me, the defense, because the defense played terrible, gave up a lot of points early. Dak didn't help with the slow start, but the defense has got to step up. So needing that leader, and I don't know if Micah Parsons is that vocal leader that, that other teams may have, like a Ray Lewis was for Baltimore. I don't know if he's going to be that or an LT. He just doesn't seem like that's his personality. So they've got to get someone. That's why I said in the offseason, I just wish they would have got some damn dogs, just a couple dogs. I don't have to get crazy, but just get a couple dogs and really get this defense, hungry and wanting to eat. And that's going to be the challenge for Mike Zimmer. We're going to get into it. Obviously, we got a long off season still to go. The draft, obviously, I think Cowboys are going to make some moves after the draft and free agency. And that's where I tell the Cowboys fans, just slow down. I know there's panic. I know there's a lot of frustration. We're all there, but let's just wait and see what happens. Give it another month. Let the draft happen. Let's see what happens on that last post-draft wave of free agency, because there's still some quality guys out there that can definitely help this team. So that's where I say with the Cowboy fans is, I know, it's doom and gloom, and I've heard people say, well, we're going to win 4 games this year. We're going to win 6 games this year. There's no way we're going to be able to compete. Listen, one, don't do your schedule, your record predictions in April. It's kind of a waste of time. Just do it. If you're going to do it as early as July. July, you could start doing that. I'm not really going to give any predictions yet, but what I do look at is the most important positions on the field. We've got it pretty much covered. We've got one of the top quarterbacks in the NFC. We got the top, if not one of the top wide receivers in the NFC. We got the top, if not one of the top pass rushers in the NFC. We got, if not the top, one of the top cornerback duos in the NFC. So we've got top guys in critical positions. What we need more of are those mid-level guys. We've had James Washington on, or like a Ken Norton Jr. You think about some of those teams in the 90s, a Tony Tolbert. They weren't the headline guys, but they were the guys that were leaders, but they were just blue collar, man. They brought it every game. Didn't really care about the limelight, anything like that. That's what we need a little bit more of. And that's where the Cowboys have just got to find it. And hopefully they find it soon. Whether it be the young guys coming back, like an Overshown, who was obviously injured his rookie year, unfortunately, in the preseason. You got Fiocco. You got some guys there that have an opportunity to step up. Will they? That remains to be seen. The other thing is the line. I know there's a lot of people that are just, man, I don't know about this offensive line. I don't know if we're going to, call me crazy. Call me crazy. Call me maybe the too optimistic of a Cowboys fan. I'm not that worried about the offensive line, the starters. I think obviously you're going to have to get some depth in there. But I think if they go with Tyler at left tackle and go with Bassett guard, Hoffman at center, Martin, Steele to me is the question mark. If he can recover back to that pre-injury, now he's going into his second season with it. If he can get back to that, the form before the injury, I think this offensive line is going to be fine. I don't think you need to have this all-world offensive line. I've seen it with Cowboys, right? The Great Wall, 2 and all this and that. And really what did we get out of it? So I think you need to have some blue-collar nasty guys. You think about the line, the Great Wall. Think about that line. Kevin Gogan, I believe he was a 7th or 8th round pick, 2A. If my memory serves me, he was originally a defensive lineman, and they moved him to offensive line. If my memory's right, hopefully it is. I'm getting older. Nate Newton, drafted late, or he was an undrafted free agent. I'm trying to remember. I know he spent some time in the USFL. The top lineman that they had on that Great Wall, Eric Williams, was a 3rd round draft pick. And we had Kevin Gogan on the show. If you missed that, man, you need to go listen to that. And he said the biggest change in the offensive line, what really took them to the next level, was coaching. And coaching makes a big difference, with some of these positional coaches, if you can get the right one in there. So that's where I'm saying is, yes, the talent's there, but talent, in the NFL, it's a fine line between Hall of Fame to great, great to good, good to bad. That's why you see so many of these first round draft picks are unsuccessful. And you see so many undrafted free agents that some make it to the Hall of Fame and some are Pro Bowlers and All Pros. Yeah, coaching and situation have a lot to do with it. So get these guys coached up in the right spot. I've got confidence in that with this team. I think the offensive line will be fine. I think McCarthy's kind of proven that they've won without Tyron Smith plenty of times. And you guys know the Garrett era when Tyron went down, we went ahead and chalked it up to an ass whooping. So it could, I've got some confidence there. So again, we got a lot to talk about. Just wanted to jump in here real quick on a Sunday. Slept in late, had a long weekend, had a lot of fun. I think you guys saw my daughter went to prom, so she had a great time. I appreciate all the great comments and stuff on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff that I'm on. So definitely appreciate that. But we are getting back to it in the cave. So like I said, Tuesday, Jay Tuck, Malik Rozier from the U. We're going to get into some college prospects. We're going to get into some college football because that's my other passion. Obviously, besides the Cowboys being number one way up there, and then Miami's right there. And then Thursday with Crawford Kerr. And then obviously going forward later this month, we do have Sherman Williams, former running back for the Cowboys. Really a story of tragic proportions and turning into a very positive thing, turning his life around and doing great things now. So definitely excited to get him in there. It's been too long of working our schedules to get that right. George Teague, defender of the Star. One of my friends is going to be coming in. We're going to be talking some Cowboy stuff, and that'll be the day before the draft. I think that's the 24th. So we're getting you guys ready for the draft, and then I believe I'm going to be doing some guest stuff on some other podcasts during the draft time. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely looking forward to it. You guys make sure you hit that subscribe if you haven't. We've got some great giveaways. Once we get to 3,000, and now we're getting even closer, we surpassed the 2,500 mark. We are giving away a signed Tom Landry Funko Pop, signed by Bob Lilly, who was a guest on our show. So make sure you guys definitely check that out. If you didn't, all our guests, all our interviews of former Cowboy players and also former NFL players, Miami Hurricanes, it's all in the playlist on our YouTube channel. So definitely check that out. But we got a signed Funko Pop where all his inscriptions, all his accolades, Mr. Cowboy, all that stuff's in there. And then when we get to 5,000, which is a lot of work to do because we got to double our subscribers, giving away 2 of my seats. You understand what I just said? 2 of my seats to the Cowboys game. We'll pick a game. You can take whoever you want. You can take me. You can take Jimmy. You can take Kelly. You can just take that. Screw you guys. I'm going to take who I want. But they're club level seats, man. They're good seats. I'm not going cheap on you guys. So definitely, once we get to 5,000 subscribers, we're going to do a big giveaway. Really, it has to get it's going to be a tall task because we got to get it before the season starts. Otherwise, your boy books his travel and my games are pretty much taken. And then I sell the others that I can't make. Hopefully the Cowboy fans. That's what I try and do. So I'll have to wait till the next season. So anyway, definitely wanted to show some love. Appreciate all the support, all the subscribers that we got this last week. Hopefully we continue it. Spread the word to Cowboys Nation. We are having a great time, and hopefully I see you guys live on Tuesday. We're going to have a good time. So I'll leave you with this little ending. That way I got to get things right, but you guys have a good Sunday. Enjoy the basketball. It's been great college basketball, women's and men's. It's been one of the best March Madnesses. And so you guys enjoy the rest of the weekend. Take care.
Give me somebody that's hungry. Give me somebody that's hungry. I need somebody.